games will it take? Who wins, and how does Game 1 go tomorrow?
This is what we want. This is what we've been waiting for. This is the Final Four of the National League. I found myself last night leaving Wrigley Field, watching what we just saw, and seeing the Cubs take care of the Padres, sending them home for good. And hearing from Jed Hoyer and Craig Counsell, and always asking the question in the back of our minds, I don't know if we've asked it in a while. Remember when Jed Hoyer talked about the next great Cub team? He's going to be this on the next great Cub team. He's going to be that on the next great Cub team. Are we watching the next great Cub team? Could this be a collection of pitching and defense and timely hitting that makes this the next great Cub team? I don't know that I can answer that, but the fact that I can't, and the answer isn't no, leaves open the possibility that the answer is yes, which is all you want in October is a chance, is a glimmer, is a little bit of hope. And the Cubs gave us that last night. And they're going to give us that over the next week and a half. Cubs in 5.
Wow, 5.
Cubs in 5, but I think if the Cubs can win tomorrow, I think it's all about tomorrow. If for some reason we talked about, did they party too hard? Did they have too many Bud Heavies? Did they have too much champagne? Are their eyes still burning?
They take a 1-0 lead tomorrow.
But if I think it's a must-win statement game. Game number 1. I think you have to have it because the Brewers have to be out of form. They just have to be. So if you don't take that game, I don't see them winning the series. But I see them winning, and I see them winning in 5 games.
Yeah, I find that curious. I don't know that tomorrow is the must-win game, frankly. How many games did you say, Dustin? In 5?
5, yeah.
Wow, that both of you go 5. Do you have Horton coming back? He's not going to be on the playoff roster.
I don't think he can be yet.
He can't be
Do
on
you
the
think so?
No, I don't. I just don't think you can waste a playoff spot for an on Game 5.
That's it.
And that sounds like I'm being mean saying waste, but that's exactly what it is. You don't know who you're going to need or how you're going to need it in the 4 games that would get you to a possible 5th game where that's the only one where he can play.
I think you're going to add a pitcher, but it's not going to be Cade Horton.
I think you might add 2.
That's interesting.
I mean,
we'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, they only have 12 pitchers right now, and they kind of ran out of pitchers. All right, I say the Cubs lose Game 1, just a hangover effect. I don't mean like a real hangover, just coming in as fast as they are. I'm not sure who's got the capability of going the distance here. I also think that the Brewers are a much better team than we give them credit for, and that Pat Murphy is a much better manager than we give him credit for. I think I would rather Mike Schild be in the other dugout than Pat Murphy. So I think he's going to do a really good job, and I think that they're going to win the first game, but I think the Cubs will win a week from tomorrow, and that will be the deciding factor. I think Cubs in 5, but they only go 5 because they lose the first game.
Won't it be something?
If I was going to have them win tomorrow, I would have them win in 4.
So we all have described a scenario, which I think could possibly create an, I think, really interesting dynamic. Craig Counsell and the Cubs celebrating a playoff series victory in Milwaukee, in the ballpark where he was a manager and had success to the point where he was so good the Cubs wanted him and lured him away.
I got to be honest with you. I don't know that Milwaukee has a better player than Manny Machado, has a better player than Mason Miller. I know they don't have a better. He's the best pitcher I've seen in. I love what you're saying here. And I don't know they have a better player than Tatis. And you just beat those guys.
You beat a team that was built for the postseason.
And Milwaukee doesn't have exactly right. They don't have the bullpen that's built for October. So I think the Cubs are in good position here. They did win the season series. I think that there's a chip on the shoulder type thing. If the Cubs can win tomorrow, they'll do this in 4. But otherwise, I'll go 5.
Do you think that, and this is something we can maybe talk about, do you think that the Brewers, as it sounds almost cliche, are a team that's built for the regular season, and they have the pitching depth, and they have the good mentality, and they're more equipped to handle 162 games than they are in a playoff round, like you just described the Padres? Padres, we always said, well, they're built for October. They've got the stars, they got the bullpen, and now they're gone.
Right.
So are the Cubs, is this a better matchup for the Cubs than the Padres?
I honestly think it is. I don't think.
Interesting.
I don't think that the Brewers are as overpowering. The Cubs showed you yesterday that if you don't have good pitching, they're going to score enough runs. Their defense is excellent, and their pitching is good enough. So I think that's the takeaway from that series. And I get it, home field matters, etc. But I think that this is such a familiar opponent that there's going to be no real surprise. You know exactly who can beat you and who can't beat you, and they know the same thing with you. And it's totally different than it was with San Diego. It's going to be fun.
It will be fascinating theater, and the managerial matchup as good as it gets.
I mean, 2 friends. Now, it's beautiful. It's beautiful stuff. It's real baseball stuff. Should be a lot of fun, and it starts tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Right here.
Game 1, right here on the Score.
That's
1:08
right.
First pitch, 12:30 pregame. Game 2, Monday, 7:30 pregame with the first pitch of 8:08.
I'm just kidding.
He doesn't wear it on his sleeve as much as some domers do. No, he's actually quite modest about that. He was somebody who stood next to Pat Murphy for years. Murph was his bench coach in Milwaukee, who thought he was coming here. We talked to Murph during the year. Certainly, by now we know how that all unfolded. You have still feelings of maybe mixed emotions, as we saw from William Contreras in the Players Tribune essay. This is great theater. It is going to be a tremendous matchup. And I think, as we were talking before we went to break, not the worst matchup that the Cubs could hope for. I think this is a team that the Cubs feel like they can beat because they have the history on their side. They won the season series, even though the Brewers were the best team in baseball.
All right. 312-644-6767. We'll start with Leslie. Leslie is in Milwaukee, of all places. Hey, Leslie.
Hey, I moved here. My mother was sick and she moved here. But hey, listen, I'm a long life Cub fan. I'm 63 years old. And it's 4 factors to this game. The number 1 factor is that we're going to Wrigley Field North, okay? The second factor is Craig Counsell. The third factor is you got Tucker starting to hit, you got Armstrong hitting, you got Suzuki hitting, you got Nico tearing the cover off the ball. You know what I mean? You got Bush that's hitting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? These guys are stone cold professionals, okay? And then here's the other factor is we got a chip up our butt about Milwaukee, okay?
And on your shoulder.
What's the best way to get the chip off is to beat them in a series. I don't think it's going to go 5. I think it'll go 4.
Thanks, Leslie. I don't know about that. I think it's going to be 5 games regardless of who wins. And the Cubs have a matchup they probably feel like they feel good about. I understand that. Let's go back to the Tucker.
I feel bad for the Cubs because if they've got a chip up there, that's
I knew
good.
you were going to say that. Okay. We know what he meant. A chip on their shoulder.
Okay.
I don't know what they have a chip on their shoulder about. I mean, this is not a team that people really have doubted. So
knock it off.
I think they go in with confidence. They go in with momentum, if that matters. And they go in as a team that has played more recently. The Brewers have had a little bit of a layoff. But let me ask you this.
I got to stop him there, though. Is Tucker really healthy?
Well, that's what I want to get to. I want to get to Kyle Tucker's.
Is PCA hitting?
Yes.
Or did he have a good game yesterday?
PCA.
The series he didn't really hit.
Pete Crow Armstrong had 3 hits last night.
Okay.
And I think when you look at his ability to do that in a big moment, it makes you feel better about what is going to happen next. PCA is where he should be in the lineup. He was lacing the ball like a guy who was trying to make contact and not swinging at everything outside of the zone, who was really a liability at the plate. I like the progress he made. What I'm more concerned about, and maybe I'm overstating it, I want to know, what did you think when you watched Kyle Tucker at the plate and then on the bases?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's ready to play right field anytime soon.
I don't think he's going to be.
But
He looked like he was really favoring that leg.
Yeah, and I think this is what you get. With him right now, this is who he is, and this is it.
Can he hit with power with this compromised leg issue? Because I don't know if he can hit with power. He's batting fourth.
They all look like line drives up the middle.
Okay. I know I said
In the
that.
box
I
score.
did the cliche.
I know, it's
and
fun.
I do think that he was a guy that looked like he was.
No,
I don't want to say
he
it was a defensive at bat, but he did
No.
whatever he could to put the ball in play.
He's still an excellent player, but he looks compromised.
He does, but they've got to use him. And
They've got to use him.
He's got to play.
There's no choice.
I just don't know what version of Kyle Tucker you're going to get in this series, and I
Yes.
think that probably Pat Murphy and the Brewers pitchers have to wonder that.
But Seiya Suzuki he has rediscovered his power swing. We saw that happen at the end of the year, and he had a home run in that series. Again, we're just talking about the 3 games. The Cubs scored 6 runs in 3 games. Is that right? That's not as good as you'd hope.
No, but when you talk about Suzuki, he did have an extra base hit in all 3 games.
Yes.
The first Cub to do that in the postseason since Anthony Rizzo. He's in good company. I think he's where you want him to be.
And Bush is kind of where you want him to be.
I think Michael
too.
Bush is your most consistent hitter right now.
And
Well,
I agree with him about
power.
Nico. Nico is really seeing the ball well, and he's hitting everything.
Nico was 4 for 11.
And you love having him up in a moment where he's needed because he's got the clutch gene. So I think that's all true. But I'm not going to sit here and act like the offense is fixed.
It's not.
Based
It's not
on
fixed.
3 runs in last night's
It's not
game.
fixed, but you also, I think, in fairness, have to look at they just played a team that we talked about all season long
Great
and for the last week was
bullpen team.
the best bullpen in baseball.
No question.
Mason Miller throwing downhill. Suarez, the closer, who got lit up last night. And you look at their depth of the bullpen, and the Cubs survived that to advance. Now you feel like they are in a good spot, having been better for the experience. So I do like what Michael Bush is doing. Nico, it speaks for itself. He was 4 for 11 in this series. After that, yeah, I would like to see a little bit of tinkering. Now, Ian Happ, when they switched him around to bat from the right side last night, you wondered what would happen. And he got a hold of one, and he drilled it to the left field wall over Gavin Sheets' head. I thought of you, Mully, when that happened, because this is a guy that was mismatched by playing the outfield, and the Sox prepared him for that moment last night when he watched the ball sail over his head and didn't have a chance. Like, wait, I'm supposed to try to catch that?
Oh, boy.
I'm a first baseman playing left field.
Yeah, it's tough.
But anyway, I think when you look at Ian Happ, maybe he's heating up. Kyle Tucker's got to get hot, and Suzuki has to stay hot. So those first 5 guys are as important as PCA is batting 7th. PCA, he needs to wreak a little havoc. I think that's good to get him back on track. I'm not sure how much that's going to be sustainable. I would, if you have to pick one of the two, I want Tucker to get hot if I'm the Cubs. I want him to start driving the ball and driving in runs and showing that slug that he hasn't really in over the past month.
That may come as his health improves. I mean, I think the hope for him is that he is going to be gradually improving as the playoffs go on, right?
Yep.
Every series will be better. Let's try our buddy Ron. Ron's on the south side. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Mully. Hey, man, we'll be having this conversation maybe about 3 years about that other team.
It's going to take a while. I hear you, Ron.
Yeah, okay. You know what? But, hey, Mully, hey, come on, Dave. Boy, I tell you, I love you guys. But look here, real quick. Mully, you said it. People overlooking the Brewers. The Brewers were second, not in the National League, in Major League behind the Dodgers in scoring run. Second behind the Rays in stolen base. They rank the 3rd or 4th ERA. They are 5th in defensive runs saved. They are the most complete fundamental thing. And see, because they don't have a top slugger, maybe a Cy Young candidate. But overall, they are the most complete. Now, I still think Philly can beat them, but no, they gonna take the Cubs out in 4. I don't see any way the Cubs will beat this team. This team can, as you all said it, the team has the best record for the longest time. It's a reason. That is a good team. They have a good manager. Brewers in 4. No way the Cubs will beat that team, and I'll call it. They can just beat you in too many ways of the game they count. Have a good one, guys.
Great,
Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, buddy.
Brewers in 4, says the Sox fan.
Oh, well, I mean, Ron's a great Sox fan.
Yeah, he is. I think definitely.
But you
Brewers,
can have a baseball opinion that isn't biased.
I know. I'm just kidding. The Brewers deserve everyone's respect. Nobody's taken the Brewers lightly. I just believe you could say this without any kind of bias or even influenced by emotion. To me, the Brewers look like a better matchup for the Cubs than the Padres looked.
Yeah.
Just because of the bullpen factor. And I don't know.
Probably the star player factor.
The Brewers don't have as many stars.
No.
They're a collection of the parts.
If their guys are stars, they're in other cities by now.
they
that's fighting worse.
What about Christian Yelich?
Well, that's an example. He's still there, but he's kind of fallen off a bit.
Yeah, but he's a guy that you fear and respect.
Yeah.
He's a guy that
was once MVP caliber once.
But because of what you're describing in their roster is why you went into the season not expecting the Brewers to be where they are now and having accomplished what they did. Pat Murphy probably put together another season that should earn him the Manager of the Year award.
Don't say that to him.
I know he doesn't
tired
like
of
that.
it.
He told us, I don't want to talk about that.
Don't bring that up again.
No, don't bring that up. But they did it without their best pitcher, and they lost Adames, and they lost a lot of things that contributed to last year's success. And this year they didn't skip a beat. So here they are against the Cubs in a series that I think is a toss-up.
Crowley is on the road. Hey, Crowley.
Hey, guys. Boy, that was a fun one last night, and I got my bags packed for Milwaukee tomorrow. I'm going to disagree with Ron. I know that the Brewers had a great season, but they went on an amazing run, one of the best I've seen in July and August.
Yeah.
But take a look at September. They got some injuries in the bullpen. I agree with David that this was the tougher matchup. San Diego, and you got past it. You also have a lot more familiarity with the Brewers, so it's not like when you don't face Pavetta and Cease all the time. So I'm going to go Cubs in 5. And you know what? If I wonder what San Diego radio is talking about starting Yu Darvish, that was a disaster on Mike Schilt's part. I can't believe they didn't go with Michael King. And so, what a fun game to be at. And I'm hoping that keep on rolling, man. I'll be there Saturday, I'll be there Monday, and then I'll be in Chicago.
Have you gone to a lot of games up there, Crowley?
I've gone to a ton of games up there. Yeah, my parents live up in Wisconsin now.
Where are your favorite stops? Help our listeners. If people are
Paint a
heading
picture.
up there,
If you're heading up to Milwaukee on a Saturday
I'll tell you where
morning.
to go. I know what I would do if I were going.
Stop at the Brat Stop?
I would go to Glorioso's. Have you ever heard of Glorioso's? That's an Italian deli in downtown Milwaukee. Let me tell you something. World-class spot. World-class, I said it. And pick up some frozen meatballs so you can cook them all week. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
People are going to go to the Broad Stop. They're going to do the normal thing, man. We'll see what happens, but I am excited, and this is a fun series, and I'm going, like I said, Cubs in 5.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, Crowley.
Crowley.
A lot of optimism there. If the Cubs win in 5, I think it will because somebody who is going to contribute to this series wasn't on the roster for last one. And I think when you talk about the number of pitchers, the Cubs, I believe, went with 12 pitchers and 14 position players for this phase of the Padres series and this phase of the playoffs. I think they shake that up a little bit subtly. 13 pitchers, 13 position players. Yeah. And I don't know who's going to be the odd man out. And I don't think they're going to bring back Cade Horton. We'll talk to Bruce in a bit because I don't think he feels that either. But somebody who isn't on the playoff roster right now, I think will be added.
Assad.
Javier Assad makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the position player who comes off of the roster, though?
Let's keep it going. We've got Bill. Bill's on the south side. Hey, bud.
Hey, Bill. What's up,
no.
Bill?
No. Did we hang up on Bill? Let's try Brian. Brian's on the road. Hey, Brian.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, good morning. Happy Friday.
Bless you.
Hey, I think that the Cubs having kind of that energy pack-filled stadium got the jitters out of the way in the way that they win these games. The Brewers are now sitting at the top of the mountain where not necessarily have been so far. I think they're going to have those jitters that the Cubs got out of the way. There's not enough pocket snacks left. Cubs in 4. Go Cubs, go.
Pocket pancake. I love it.
I don't think
Thanks, Brian.
I don't think they're going to be nervous. I don't think this team probably
I think
gets
that
rattled
I
like
think
that.
honestly, I think like the nerves would be countered by the familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's really interesting. So here you are. This seems like it doesn't seem like an easy series because of the familiarity with the opponent, but it seems like one that you've played before, even though I can't think of a lot of playoff series between the teams offhand.